Hello, folks. This is Greg Gilbert back again, your host of Python's Paradise and co producer on 13 Fanboy, associate producer on Hearts of Darkness, The Making of the Final Friday, and various other films. I cameo in currently 9 James Balsamo films, but I'm not really here to talk about that right now. I'm here to talk about my 2018 haul from Horror-rama that I attended that year. Now, I think 2017 Horror-rama holds a special place in my heart because my folks are both terminally ill, but they drove me to the airport in 2017, and they've never flown before, so it was kind of cool to have that first trip to be taken to the airport by my folks. That way, my car could stay at their place, and I wouldn't have the airport charge leave my car there. So they saw me off, and it's a nice memory. But 2018 came along, and I remember the first time, like I called Lisa Langlois of class of 1984, who I assisted at Horror-rama 2017. Well, I contacted her, and she arranged to pick me up when I got to Union Station in Toronto. And last time she met me at Union Station from the subway, but she was kind of hustling, bustling, and she met me, drove in the car, and the traffic there is. It's like North by Northwest, you got people going everywhere, like that opening scene from the Hitchcock classic. And so Lisa picked me up and drove me to my destination, and although she was not part of Horror-rama, I did spend some considerable time hanging out with her while I was there. And but I'm here to talk about my haul from Horror-rama 2018. Lisa did give me a little gift, and it's actually on the back of my phone here. But here's the package. It's a little thing you put in the back of your phone to keep it standing up, and so you can talk on speakerphone, and or look in the if you're doing a visual phone call or whatever. I'm not tech savvy, but she gave me that, and I thought that was a nice little gift she gave me, so I use that. Now, like the previous year, we got these tote bags for Horror-rama, and there we go, right here. The ghoul. Now, this one's got other stuff in it, but because I've got two of the exact same bag. But like last year or the year before, a VIP. I got VIP. I paid for all this by myself. I saved up for it and got the VIP early so that I would have it and get everything planned so it wouldn't cost me so much. And well, my parents drove me to the airport in 2017. My brother Andrew, who is also my manager, drove me in 2018, and it was awesome. I got this nice VIP. I'm going to take this off though. Just hang it right here because I want to show off my shirt. This is the Horror-rama 2018 shirt right there. Very nice. So I thought I'd wear that for this. And the tote bag, I'll share some stuff that was in it. Hellfest was a big movie. Well, not big movie, but we got this little thing, little fanny package here you stick on, and Hellfest. Hellfest is kind of a funhouse knockoff, but we got these. And you always get a magazine. This one here has got George Romero on the cover. I met George Romero's widow, Susan DeStrocher, at Horror-rama 2017, and I had her on the show in tribute to him. But we got this magazine with that came with it. I'll start light here because I remember 2017 I got a bunch of issues of Fangoria magazine, so it was no different this year. I'll share what I got. Ghost Story. Very underrated, had a lot of classic actors in it. It was the last film for one of our famous dancers, Fred Astaire. So on the cover, Ghost Story. Now, Louie Delacroix was one of the guests at Horror-rama 2018, and here he is on the cover of this Fangoria with getting his, his head's exploding. Friday the 13th, Part 2. Don't look in the fridge. Something's rotten in there. And my favorite werewolf movie. Well, that and The Howling are pretty much kind of a close tie, but The American Werewolf in London. David Naughton was supposed to be at Horror-rama 2018, and he had to cancel because of, I think he had a film project come up, and he had to cancel, which was unfortunate because, Dee Wallace was one of the guests at 2018 with The Howling, so... So those were the Fangorias I grabbed while I was there, and I don't grab a lot of them, but if I see something that's got something that may interest me, then I grab it. I'm going to share my Blu-ray signatures. I got to sign, but first, speaking of the tote bag, they always have. In 2017, they had this one, Trancers 2 with Helen Hunt. I still haven't watched it, but this one I did. This one's called And Now the Screaming Starts. This was in the tote bag. This I watched, and it's not bad. It's got Peter Cushing in it, and Patrick McGee from A Clockwork Orange, Herbert Loam. Yep, this was a really interesting movie, and this came with the tote bag, so this one I did watch. Now, there was a couple of screenings while I was there. This movie here was horrible, but it was so bad I had to watch it. Wild Beast. Now, Horror-rama is founded by Chris Alexander of former Fangoria fame, and Louis Cerez of Suspect Video. And I remember when I was watching this, Chris Alexander stopped in, he kind of leaned into me and he goes, "Has the cheetah scene happened yet?" I was like, no. This movie is incredibly cheesy, and the animals don't come off at all wild. You could tell they're tame. It's odd. I had to get it. And this one was really graphic, but absurd. And I liked it, but very, very graphic. It's a giallo film. The only thing I didn't like about it was it has the most annoying kid in the movie, but I did like the heroine. She was bedridden, so she was put in a position that made it more suspenseful, but yeah, this was an interesting movie, so I bought this while it was there. These are things I don't find here in Fredericton, so absurd. Now, I spent a lot of time with Lisa while I was there, so we planned out some events, and one of the things I wanted to do, I remember in 2017 she took me to all the locations for her class of 1984, like the school and the house that Perry King and Mary Lynn Ross lived in, and one guy that will not do my show because of his experiences on Class of 1984 is Neil Clifford, who played Fallon. Very nice guy. He's a sculpture artist now. And he politely declined to do my podcast, but he did decide to meet Lisa and I in Toronto. I don't have any autographs of him because I didn't know what the encounter was going to be like, because I know that he didn't have a very good experience shooting Class of 1984, but anyway, I didn't get the sign by him, but I'm just kind of pointing it out that there he is, standing right there. But he was a very nice guy. I got Lisa and I got a picture taken with him, and I told him I wouldn't put it online, but I was very, very happy to meet him. He's a great artist, great sculpture artist. Day Young of Rock and Roll High School is also a sculpturist, but it's sad. I think Class of 1984 is a movie that I really love. It's a movie that I grew up with. I was 10 years old in 1982 when that came out, so I feel bad that a lot of the Canadian actors and the extras weren't treated so well, and Neil Clifford had some bad memories, but he had some nice things to say about his fellow actors, though. So it was nice to meet him anyway. So he took some time to meet with Lisa and I, and he hadn't seen Lisa since the shoot, so that was a nice encounter. So we sat down, had some tea, and reminisced. So I'm going to share some Blu-rays that I got signed. There we are. I got a nice stack of them. Now this I shared in the 2017 video, but I'm going to share it again because I met Martha Gibson of Black Christmas. She is the wife of Louie Delacroix of Scanners, and she showed up with him. So I'm going to show this again. You got Martha Gibson right there, and of course I met Lynn Griffin the previous year. She was not at Horror-rama 2017. She was at Horror-rama 2014, but she and her husband Sean Sullivan met with Lisa and I at a restaurant, and she signed this for me. Yeah, that previous year they did Horror Hound the same weekend. So of course Martha Gibson signed this one as well. This is another version of Black Christmas. You get Carl Zitier, who was one of the guests the previous year, the composer, and Lynn Griffin signed this one as well. So there you go. I showed that in the last video, but I show it again. Now, Louie Delacroix, of course, was a famous head exploding scene in David Cronenberg's Scanners, and I got this Blu-ray of Scanners. I got this signed by him, and it says, "My head blew up." Real good. Louie Delacroix. He had a great sense of humor, I'll tell you that. I was totally thrown off by the person he was, and this was the first con he'd ever done. And why did he do it? He said Chris Alexander just knew how to talk him into it. So I got that signed by Louie Delacroix. Very, very funny guy. I also met Dee Wallace. Now, Dee Wallace is in 13 Fanboy, which is a film I'm a co-producer on. And Dee Wallace was a guest on Python's Paradise in 2015. And she remembered me. And I got her to sign a couple of Blu-rays for me. Here's E.T. to Greg. Dee Wallace got a little happy face on there. My E.T. Blu-ray. Dee Wallace signed that. And of course, The Howling. I love The Howling. That and American Werewolf in London. I love both. And of course, Wolfen came out that year, 1981 as well. But this one here says, to Greg, be something. I don't even know what that says. Could say behave, who knows, but I'll put it in there close. There you go. You can see the signature in there close for Dee Wallace. So I got her. She was also the first time I had ever approached somebody for an autograph and they had a debit machine with them. Normally I just bring cash, but she had a debit machine, so that was actually made it a little easier for me. And of course, Linnea Quigley was there. This was her second time at Horror-rama. I missed her the first time, but I got her this time. I got her to sign my Silent Night, Deadly Night, because I always remember her as the antler kill, you know, in the movie. And I've had Linnea Quigley on my show in 2019 on my birthday. And yeah, she sang to me. But there we go. Got Linnea to sign that Blu-ray of Silent Night, Deadly Night. And last but not least, the gorgeous Lynn Laurie. And I'm going to tell you, she's still stunning. And I never heard of this movie, but she had it at her table and she was selling copies. And I have VIP, so I was there both days. So the second day, the Sunday, I bought this. It says, to Greg, you can't eat one. Lynn Laurie. Sugar cookies. I'll bring it in closer for the signature. You can't, to Greg, you can't eat one sugar cookies. I bought this because it's got Lynn Laurie and Mary Warnoff. Of course, I know best as Miss Togar in Rock and Roll High School. I wanted to see what those two would be like together. There's a lot of nudity in this movie, but they're both beautiful women. But I'll show that again. I got that sign. I purchased that right at her table. Now, I did get a lot of pictures. I don't seem to have one of those posters that have all the people that were in attendance, but I got autographs and pictures. I'm not going to show the pictures I did with them right here, but I got a lot of autograph pictures I'm going to show you from people I was really interested to meet. For starters, Ryan Brown. Ryan Brown's been at Horror-rama all 3 years I've been there. He's a magician, and he tells me I was the first one to get an autographed picture from him, I guess, to buy one from him. And it says, to Greg Gilbert, Ryan Brown. There he's got the cards. I love his dove act. I filmed him doing it. Dove act and worked with rings, and he worked with cards. So there you go. Expect to see more of him in the future. This is a big photograph, but I got one of him, show my appreciation. He's been a guest on the show. Now for other pictures, this is Martha Gibson. She was in Black Christmas, the mom. Unfortunately, they find the dead child in the park. Well, this is the mother. It says on the back, it says, to Greg, thank you Martha Gibson, she signed the back of it. Yep, she was there with her husband, Louie Delgrande. Or Del Grand, I don't know. I know I should, but. And speaking of, he signed my Blu-ray of Scanners. I had to get one of these pictures. Look at that. That famous scene in Scanners, the head explosion scene. It says, my head blew up real good. He put that on the Blu-ray as well. And there he is. Again, very, very funny. I was surprised what a great sense of humor Louie Delgrand had, because he was very funny. And there he is. And he had a great time. That's the main thing. So I haven't got them on my show yet, but he did say he was interested. Now, Dee Wallace. Dee Wallace, of course, in 13 Fanboy, which I'm a co-producer on. Glad to have my name on that. I've had her on the show, and I thought it'd be a great idea to get a picture of her with E.T. It says, to Greg, be good, Dee Wallace. I watched her I just caught the latter part of her panel at Horror-rama. And it showed how she did audition for Critters, and it was pretty amusing to watch her. But I'll show that again. Very stunning woman. And they always have a composer. Previous year they had Carl Zitier. This year it was Russell Band. Excuse me, not Russell Band. Richard Band. Sorry, Richard Band. For Greg. Richard Band. Oops. Sorry. My big regret is I had not seen House on Sorority Row at that time. I have since seen it, and I've got it on Blu-ray. If he's back at Horror-rama, I'll get him to sign it. He's got a gorgeous score on that movie. But there you go. Again, very nice man. He said he'd do my show, but again, I haven't made that happen yet. Okay. Linnea Quigley. She was a hoot. I had her on my show on my birthday last year. I got pictures signed by her both days. This is from Night of the Demons. I had to get that. This was on the second day. Look at that. Her in the pink dress. It says, to Greg, do you have sour balls, Linnea? Look at that. A little close-up of the signature. Yeah. Linnea was a lot of fun. I saw her panel too. I caught the whole thing, took some pictures of it. She was a lot of fun. This was her second year for Horror-rama, and I got this one as well. Her with the chainsaw from Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. To Greg, chainsaw, kisses, and Linnea. There you go, the signature. She looks good there with that chainsaw. Chainsaw never looked better. And of course, I gotta say, Lynn Laurie, beautiful. And Lynn Laurie is a hugger. I got 2 pictures with her, and she's a hugger. And she is lovely, very lovely. I got this from Shivers. Look at that. Boy, is she beautiful. And there is her signature. It says, to Greg, even old flesh is erotic flesh. Linnea. Yeah. Coming from her, I'll believe that. There she is coming out of the pool. Signature. And I got one more. This was a really nice picture. It says, to Greg, big hugs. Linnea. And she does give big hugs. But this is a nice picture. And no, she's not nude there. She just got, looks like a skin-colored outfit on. But and there's the... But that's a real nice picture. I enjoyed meeting her. Unfortunately, I didn't have Shivers on Blu-ray, but I did buy sugar cookies from her. I have one additional thing I want to show. I bought a little piece of merchandise, and since I had to go on the plane, I had to be very careful the purchases I made, but I had to grab this from Silent Night, Deadly Night. Look at that. He's got a two-sided hatchet. He's got a hammer. Stuff he used in that film. But I like the figure. It's a really nice figure. Look at that. Of course, you get the back. So this was the one figurine I did purchase. I was going to get the Leatherface one, but I had to watch my cash. But this looks good. That just looks great. So that's from Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'd like to get one from Eric Freeman from the second one, Garbage Day. Anyway, that is my Horror-rama 2018 haul, and happy to be part of it. And I'm going to finish this video up. I was happy to be a VIP. Well worth it. I'll be back soon with my 2019 Horror-rama haul. And I have Comic-Con 2019 as well, where I have a lot of merchandise from that. So stay safe during this Corona season. This is Canada Day 2020. I'm happy to be here to share this with you. Happy Canada Day, and check out Horror-rama if you're in Toronto. Love it. So peace out.